Hey friends, welcome or welcome back. This is Laura with Laura B Floss Tube. Thank you so much for joining me again today. So we have a change of plans. This is the next video in the series for the Christmas tree quilt. I did release a little oopsie video to fix that one shape that I had messed up on between row 3 and 4. So that should be out there by now. And now the next video was going to be assembling the rows, and don't think we're quite there yet. We're gonna do another little, a little video just to kind of show you about another step that I kind of forgot about. So the next thing that I need to do before I start assembling these rows is adding in some of my little circles. And I have, I don't know, probably 12 or 13 little circles ready to go into the tree. But the reason I want to go ahead and do that before I assemble the rows is mainly because I don't want to have to rustle all of those, the 5x7, so a 50 by 70 inch quilt top through my machine to go around a little circle. So I want to put those in the individual rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consult my pattern and put everything up on the design wall and kind of determine where I'm going to put those little circles at. I'll pin those into place and applique those down before I sew my rows together. So we're going to work on that in this video today. I just want to show you how I'm going to decide which ones I care about and which ones I don't, and kind of how to fill in some spaces with just some little extra circles or whatever type of shape that you choose to do. So let me get all the rows back up on the design wall, because to be quite honest, half of them are on my table and half of them are on the wall and half of them are, well, a couple of them are on the floor. So I'll get everything up on the design wall and then we'll start talking about the circles and pinning those into place so I know where to applique those down next. Remember when we labeled our rows? Yeah, that's going to come in handy right now because I don't know if this is row 3 or 5, but guess what? It tells me right there. So here I am just putting up my rows, making sure everything is lined up correctly. I try to line up the background squares here as well. And then once I get them, I pin them onto the design wall. And once I get that done, then I take the shapes that are overlapping the rows and kind of flip them out to make sure everything else is lined up correctly. You don't want to have another oops like we did already. So this is pretty much what I'm doing. So as soon as I get done with this, we will carry on with the tutorial. Okay, so the Christmas tree quilt is back on the design wall in all of its rows and glory. So I just need to figure out, actually this is not lined up correctly. Hang on. I am trying to kind of match the background squares a little bit, just to make sure things are lined up close enough that I can kind of see where the overlaps are going to be and make sure everything is lined up correctly. That one's going to be a little tight actually, but I think we're going to leave it. We're okay with it. That's what we're going to say at this point. We're okay with it. So, you know, I have some blank spots in here, a few little spots where I could put a circle or two just to kind of add in some interest. So I'm going to grab my little pack of circles and start putting them on. So when we printed out our pattern, which has been a while, there were several little circles in here that I cut them out, but I didn't put them on the background squares anywhere because I wanted to do that like now, because I wanted to make sure that all of that stuff would work out and line out, just because you never know when, you know, maybe not all of my shapes were perfect. Maybe they were off a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough space for circles where it was telling me to put them, because really in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if there's a circle there or not. I can tweak this and change it as I need it to be. All right, so working with my pattern and the little circles that I have, I'm just going to start kind of pinning them in place in different places around on the tree, just to add a little more interest and a little more pizzazz, I guess, to fill in some blank spots. So some of these circles I kind of fussy cut and other ones I did not. So I definitely want to use the ones I did fussy cut just because I worked harder on those. All right, so I can definitely put one in here. And it calls for 3. I do have some smaller ones as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pin those in. Now all of these little circles are out of the same fabric, so I don't have to worry about which fabrics to use or anything like that. I am going to keep these pretty close to this larger scallop just because I want to make sure that when these go together that doesn't, they don't go too close to one another. I'm going to do a cute one right in there. Now, the design that I printed out also kind of calls for some to be outside on some of these sections. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. All right, I'm going to move the camera down so you can see where I'm working at down below. Okay, so the one place that I am going to put some circles that the pattern calls for that is on kind of like the outside of the tree is here at the bottom. There's a couple sections that I think that it would look really cool and add some interest. So I'm going to get those pinned on, and I think I'm going to, stand back, look at it a little bit, and then decide. I think that might be all I'm going to add. It calls for kind of like a set of 3 right here. It also calls for a couple, I think 3, like right in here too. Now I've only got 3 little circles left and 2 of them are fussy cuts, so I'm going to try to find a place for them because I made them, so I should use them. So I'm going to just kind of step back and look at it and think and see what I think. And I'm going to go ahead and applicate all of those down. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do for today. And yeah, so the next video that we have together, I will be assembling some rows and putting those together and showing how to deal with all of these little overlaps and things like that. And then hopefully by the end of the next video, we'll have our center of our quilt top together, which is our great big Christmas tree that I will be using for an ornament hanger this holiday season. So thanks so much for joining me once again for the ornament quilt, Christmas tree quilt series that I'm doing on my YouTube channel. I appreciate all the likes and comments. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please feel free to do so. And I will see you next time. But hey, until next time, happy stitching.